Hello, everyone. Well, thank you very much for accepting our invitation to come to our first IGMENA Google Hangout in 2016. I feel always excited and thrilled to have such a great speakers with us today. So I will introduce or reintroduce myself for my friends and colleagues. My name is Hamza bin Mahrez. I'm the policy analyst lead of HEVOS Foundation on the famous Internet Governance MENA region program. And today we will talk about a very hot topic ongoing right now in the MENA region. We will speak about voice over internet protocol versus mobile networks, and we will see if it is a disruptive threat for mobile operators or a great opportunity or an innovative opportunity for end users. So before kicking the debate, I want to share with you a few logistical instructions. Try to turn off your mobile phones and any connected devices that can really create background noise, and try to mute your voice while the other speaker is giving his perspective. And as well, because we have a very technical topic today, so try to avoid the use of acronyms to make it digestible for the wider IGMENA community watching us. And of course, feel free to expand on the questions that we have today. So we will look at the stakeholders of voice over IP systems in your own countries. And then we will try to look at the regulatory relationship between voice over IPs and mobile network connections. And at the end, we will try to think together of the policies that can be implemented for the better use of VoIPs. So without any further ado, I will give the floor for you now to present yourselves and reflect your academic and professional background. So should we start with Huda Belqasem, who joined us from Morocco?
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Huda Belqasem from Morocco, IT engineer. Previously, I worked as a project manager in the Society of Networks and Telecommunication. Actually, I'm a adjunct professor at the university. In parallel, I'm an internet policy analyst in HEVOS program IGMENA. I'm very pleased to join this hangout for the first time, and I hope my information will be helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We are very happy to have you here with us today. So should we go to Mahmoud from Egypt?
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Mahmoud Benhawi. I work as a program manager for the Freedom of Information Program in Support for Information Technology Center in Egypt, which is a civil society organization interested in right knowledge. My academic background is mainly sociology. My engagement with the internet governance is from policy perspective as one of the main keys for wider audience to be able to exchange knowledge and expertise. And I'm glad that I'm with you today.
We're all glad as well. So should we go to my friend Shanoufi, Walid Shanoufi from Tunisia?
Hi everyone, I'm Walid Shanoufi, as Hamza said. I'm an IT engineer. I have a tech background. I worked in developing software, mobile application, etc. Since late 2012, I'm working with an international NGO called Access Now, working on digital rights in order to defend and extend digital rights for users at risk. Right now, my position is a digital security coordinator, and I'm helping the user at risk to solve their problems linked to digital security.
Great, thank you very much, Shanoufi, and we're happy as well to have the tech guy Hamza coming from Jordan. So Hamza, can you tell us more about yourself?
Yes, my name is Hamza Muhammad Salim from Jordan. I'm working at a company that work with the government on the project e-government. I'm working as a web developer and mobile developer. I think I have a solid tech background, and I'm still working in some codes and these things. I think I know some technical issue with e-government. I'm working on solving this. I guess I will be helpful.
Yes.
Yes.
So we can expect that you will share with us your knowledge, Hamza. So, and last but not least, we are very pleased to have Amin Jabran from ISL 19, and who is speaking to us from Canada. Hello, Amin. Hello, Amin, are you around? Guys, do you listen to Amin or not?
No.
Yeah, so I think we should wait a little bit for Amin to come. Amin, are you around? So okay, so I think you have the bio of Amin, so you know him and you know his affiliation. I think maybe he will join us in the debate after resolving his technical problem. So I will try to ask Mahmoud al-Banhawi the first question. So can you give us your definition of VoIPs and what are the characteristics, the trend and growth of VoIPs in Egypt?
Okay, for me, voice over internet protocol is another contribution for the internet to connect people that they are able, as they were before able to send text messages, now they are able to send live voice communications. So in Egypt, Egypt is one of the biggest markets in communication in the Middle East, and from a communication perspective, the Egyptian market, let's start with, is oversaturated with subscribers to mobile companies. So now the 101 percent of the Egyptian people are subscribed to mobile networks, and most of them are using smartphones. So this gives great opportunities for people to use this technology. One other characteristic is that about 10% of the Egyptians are living abroad. So 8 million people are out of the Egyptian territory, and they're always connected to their families and relatives. So this can give us a perspective that voice over IP is a very used application of the internet. Uh, Unfortunately, the telecommunication scene in Egypt is governed with different actors. So first we have the government, which owns the national regulator and also owns the biggest infrastructure company and the only internet infrastructure country, which is TDAP. We have three um, mobile operators, Mobinil, Vodafone, and Etisalat. Mobinil is owned by Orange, mostly owned by French Orange. Vodafone, 40% owned by TE Data, Telecommunication Egypt, which is governmental run company, and then Salat, which is Emirati. We have also all these mobile telecommunication companies also have their child companies for internet connection. So, but with the biggest market share is for the telecommunication Egypt in landlines, in all landlines, all infrastructure, enabling infrastructure, and with the high subscribers. The Egyptian government also owns and runs the international telecommunication portal, which is responsible of international calls. So there is also the case of revenues to the government that can be affected by people relying to voice over IP and using simply the internet connection for the calls to go online and do not pass by the ordinary landline mobile phones.
So these are the stakeholders of telecommunication in Egypt and using the VoIPs and how they operate.
Exactly. Usually, the Egyptian law forbids passing international calls without passing through the international gate, which is where the income directly goes to the government pocket. So, but usually this was understandable as banning other VoIP technologies, like, for example, Magic Jack, to use the infrastructure without uh, paying fees for the customers and other parties. Now it's VoIP over OTTs, over Facebook, over WhatsApp, over Viber is regarded the same way, and that's why last year the government blocked VoIP over the mobile internet only for some few applications, not all applications, but for some few. This was not officially admitted. We tried to contact the national regulator to get a look to this order of banning. They didn't answer. And now civil society are trying to challenge this decision based on that this limits the internet capabilities and infringement to net neutrality.
Well, thank you very much for delving in the first question, Mahmoud. It was really, you have give us an excellent perspective. So we are joined by Amin Jabran, who is with us live now. So should I ask the same question to Al-Walid Shanoufi from Tunisia? So can you give us the stakeholders using VoIPs, the characteristic and the trend and the growth of VoIPs in Tunisia?
Sure. So in Tunisia, we have three big telcos, Orange, Ooredoo, and Tunisia Telecom. The other stakeholders in Tunisia are the government, for sure, who is managing the infrastructure, and as well, like we have the government, we have the telcos, and right now, I'm going to talk about the history of voice over IP. Like before the revolution, we had one block that happened in 2010 in the Ben Ali era, just before the revolution. It was in 2010 mid-year, and the blockage of VoIP happened for a short period of time, and then there was some pressure from companies because in Tunisia we still have a lot of offshore companies using internet services, and especially VoIP. And at that time, it threatened a lot their work in here. And then after some period, yeah.
Like call centers, like the call centers in Tunisia.
Exactly. Like call centers, like big companies using like Hangout or Skype or whatever. We have also a lot of Tunisians living outside Tunisia, and they used to get in touch with their family using VoIP as well. So after some pressure on this sensitive and critical period of time, VoIP came back. And then after the revolution, we had as well another like, let's say, hoax or information saying that VoIP over IP is going to be blocked in September and October 2014. People are saying that it was just like an attempt from telcos to see whether or not they have the possibility to do this blockage or not. So there were a lot of talks in the media. Telcos in the beginning didn't want to talk about that. They didn't want to comment to see what is going to happen. But other stakeholders like the ENT, I'm going to explain what is ENT. National Instance of Telecommunication say that it's not legal to block VoIP, as well as the Association of Defense of Consumers as well talked about that. But still, like, even if in Tunisia there are some regulation protecting net neutrality in in its global form, application may be done on, and sometimes it may be not done. So we need to be vigilant about it.
So we need to work on the laws to really guarantee the net neutrality and guarantee the neutrality of the network and the non-violation of the law by the hegemony of the national telecommunication.
Yep. Exactly. Concerning net neutrality, Access worked a lot on that. We support net neutrality, and blocking VoIP over IP obviously violates net neutrality. We are members of the Global Net Neutrality Coalition. So this coalition made a definition of net neutrality. Basically, net neutrality requires that the internet be maintained as an open platform on which networks providers treat all content, application, and services equally without discrimination. But we have seen that this definition exists, but like government or telcos, whenever they feel that they have benefits to go under net neutrality, they do it. So we need to be vigilant.
Yeah. Excellent, Shanofi, excellent perspective. So we go to Hamza Salim, who joined us from, I think you overcome your technical problem there. So can you give us more of the characteristics of VoIPs in Jordan, whether 3G or 4G, and what are the trend and growth of VoIPs in your country?
Okay, sorry for the technical issue.
No, it happens usually.
Okay. I will start with this. If you try in Jordan to call someone in WhatsApp, there is a message, pop-up message that will show you to this service is not available. We have three company that run the company, the voice, the mobile voice call. It's called Omnia, Zain, and Orange. It's try to minimize the role of the VoIP in like WhatsApp call, because WhatsApp has a great quality with the voice or with the videos. So they block it, and they block it in network like 3G, 4G, but in Wi-Fi it's allowed, because they're I guess if they allow this calls, they will lose very huge money, because in Jordan the communication it's calls by minutes and seconds. And if WhatsApp, it's allowed for anyone to call everywhere, and by using 3G or 4G, there is an issue for this company. There is a company, it's called Mada. It's try to make VoIP as a service for little business. And it's effective for a small company or big company with one building. It's not about over worldwide or over all country. I guess the growth. I guess VoIP has a vision to it's how can I describe this? It's a service.
It's a business model.
No,
It's
no.
a business model?
Yes, yes, it's for Mada. Yes, it's a business model to implement to the small business with VoIP. But I guess I will talk about the growth in this service in Jordan. I guess it will be big, but it's not now. It's
Yeah.
yes, I guess it's Jordan is not mature enough to take this step, to take this step and use VoIP through I guess the quality of the calls and the infrastructure for any company that can handle VoIP as a calls, as a voice calls. Yes.
Yeah, so we will touch upon the challenges for growth in the second question. So I want to go to Huda Belkacem to give us the perspective of Morocco. I mean, recently on the 5th of January, VoIPs they were blocked by the Morocco telecom. And can you give us the reality from the ground of that blockage and how things evolved from that date? Mute yourself. You need to mute yourself for them.
In Morocco, the stakeholders are governments, telcos, اتصالات المغرب, Meditel and INWI, and national telecommunication regulatory agencies is the public body responsible for the control and regulation of the telecommunication sector. Okay, I would like Hamza to mention firstly over the past few days the three Moroccan telecommunications companies, Morocco Telecom, Meditel and INWI, which dominate the country's telecom market, up to ban VoIP, and that include shutting down voice video calls on Skype, on Viber, on WhatsApp, and on Messenger. The National Telecommunication Regulatory Agency justified blocking by claiming that the services violate Moroccan regulations, and the three companies have the right to shut down any services they want for financial or commercial reasons. According to the Article 1 of the agency decision number 0404 in regards to the protocol of VoIP services, all of these announcements are making Moroccan citizens very angry and confused, and they launched various petitions around 9,000 people have signed the petitions on the website changes.org, I guess, and 10,000 on the website ipetitions.com, which advised the agency to investigate the blocking and call the companies directly to end their illegal restrictions, which represent the violation of human rights. And yesterday, the fight ended by the in-blocking of VoIP, because Moroccans are lifting their voice to fight for their right to freedom of expression.
So in a way, you're saying,
Entre parentheses, the ban is only on 3G and 4G phone users, so Moroccans can still make phone or video calls by Wi-Fi.
So in a way, we're seeing that campaigning or signing a petition is cost beneficial, so they can mount the pressure for telecommunication government regulators to stop banning and blocking. And that's actually a culture that should be spread across MENA region countries. So thank you for your fights, and you won that small win, I should say. So Amin, we should go to Amin from Jabran from ISL 19, who is joining us from Canada. Can you give us a general perspective about the use of VoIPs in the Arab world, or from your local perspective, where you're coming from a developed country in Canada?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Again, sorry about this communication issue. The browser was unresponsive. I think it's too early for it in the morning, just like it is for me here. It's very early. So what I can tell you right now, first, just a very brief introduction. I don't have like the technical background that some of your guests do, but I'm the outreach manager in USL 19, which is a organization that deals with technology and human rights. And I do outreach for the Arab region. So to answer your question, Hamza, for the VoIP IP, I do focus on most of the Arab region. I have been monitoring what was happening in Morocco recently. We did have a campaign for Siphon to help people install a VPN that would help them circumvent the blocking of the VoIP, and we had a great response from Morocco. And this underlines the importance of these tools that would provide temporary solutions for such problems. Of course, on the long run, there has to be more permanent solutions and changing laws and all of that. What I can tell you from my experience here in Canada, of course, like Canada is considered a developed country. The internet infrastructure is advanced, as you can call it. Still, we did have a problem a while back with how the companies are going to deal with VoIP services, how it's eating up from the company's profits. However, the companies were very smart in dealing with it. In one hand, the market is very small, so they can't actually give unlimited data internet for consumers like the US do with their 300 million plus market. And at the same time, they can't block VoIP IPs because in a way they do have to abide with some net neutrality laws. So what they did is they controlled the price of data packages. Before, like 6 years ago, I'll give you an idea of the prices. You can buy a data package for 6 gigabytes for 30 Canadian dollars. Now, today, this data doesn't exist anymore for $30. You have to pay for it $60 maybe. And for every extra gigabytes you go over, you have to pay $15. So this, in a way, like it's better than the situation in many Arab countries, of course, but it's still a kind of a control mechanism by these telecommunication companies. And the big ones here are 4 of them. There's like 4 big companies, and all the other ones are very small companies. I can give you as well a very brief overview about Skype services, about VoIP services in the Gulf countries, since I know like none of our guests are coming from there. Like from
so
what
maybe,
I know,
maybe we will try to keep that question for other questions in the debate. Sorry to catch you.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, great. So we will move to the second question of the. We will see from Mahmoud. We'll back to Mahmoud and his insightful background and expertise. So, do you see that VoIP systems are enabler for growth? Here, when I'm talking about growth, is economic growth, and can you give us concrete examples?
Actually, by this, I'll start with an example. Now is trying to take.
So we can't hear you, Mahmoud.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, now we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So I was saying that, for example, Tunisia now are taking big steps into outsource to be a center of attraction of outsourcing company from Europe, and this also applies to all the MENA regions with improvement in telecommunication infrastructure with some other culture characteristics. There is a big European market that's opening on our shores, and such to internet usage is not helping for the general economic growth. Another thing that, as Mr. Amin said, it's not a local or a national problem, but an international problem, and there is a lot of new business models trying to appear. Maybe cooperation between the companies owning the service itself, like Skype, Facebook, WhatsApp, and the network, the ISPs, the internet companies, the telecommunication companies, locally everywhere. The main problem of banning or blocking is it cuts all this dialogue. It doesn't give room to any new initiatives, any new models to evolve. Maybe example is not the best of putting more prices on the usage, but it is a solution. One maybe it's not the best, but as the problem exists, the answer is not banning. It's to find a solution to develop a sound business model, and this dialogue requires a lot of policy changing, because other issues that also affect the telecommunications scene in the Arab world generally, the state monopoly over infrastructures, and also some other political and monopoly economic solutions.
Yeah, great perspective. Yeah. Yes, same questions go to Shanoufi from Tunisia. So do you see VoIPs as an enabler for economic growth in Tunisia, especially that we are living some economic problems now in Tunisia? Like 5 years after the revolution, economic policies are not really bold enough or not really taken enough to be implemented on the ground. So can you see that VoIPs has a certain business model or can be an incentive as an economic engine?
Yes. So concerning the situation in Tunisia, as I said earlier, a lot of companies are using VoIP. We're not like Tunisian companies, but we are seeing the trend that Tunisia is one of the top 10 countries in startup initiatives. So there are a lot of youth people launching companies and using tech as a first tool in order to bring new ideas and grow their activities. And we have seen the government in Tunisia trying to improve these startups and these initiatives. Recently, the government was working with the telcos in order to expand 3G and 4G in the near future in Tunisia to expand the coverage. So this is one thing, but another thing, I think that it's not our role as civil society to find business models for telcos. Telcos should find their business model themselves. They have decades to figure out how to innovate and find new ways to win money, but our role is to make them stick with human rights and digital rights, and this is our responsibility, and we need to always be there to make them remember that.
So isn't it a little bit dangerous when you say that civil society should not be involved in that, because that's the multi-stakeholderism model? So we should give each stakeholder.
Yeah. So I'm saying that we
should check and balance the non.
Yeah. So my point is that we should be involved into discussions and push to make change, but we are not here to find solutions for them. They know the solution. and they can do a lot of benefit by implementing new solutions. But generally, telcos tend to apply the easiest solution with less effort. So we need to avoid that and be there. And they need to do their part of work as well.
Excellent perspective. Maybe Amin will have something to say here, I'm pretty sure. Hamza, you talked about the small medium enterprise in Jordan and how people in Jordan or entrepreneurs are using VoIPs. Can you tell us more about the use of VoIPs and if it is an enabler for economic growth? Okay, should we go and wait? Maybe Hamza will come later on. So should we go to Amin? Maybe Amin, you can give us your perspective on VoIPs, if it is an enabler for economic growth.
Yeah, for sure. So for sure, it's an undeniable fact that internet in general does contribute to the growth in GDP, and so do VoIP services. Especially for low-income people. This helps them access the internet, which means helps them access services, e-government, you name it. And the problem is, in the Arab countries, all the solutions come at the expense of poor people. They don't really think about their well-being, how they're going to be connected, whatnot. I do agree with both your guests. I think Mahmoud made a great point that when companies just block VoIP services, they're also blocking the conversation. The conversation doesn't go anywhere, and this is the easy way out for them. It's a very short-sighted, temporary solution, but they do it because they can do it. But what we've seen in Morocco lately, and I don't want to steal Huda's spot
perspective.
Here, yeah, perspective. What we've seen yesterday with all this mobilization against the telecom companies and against the government regulator body, and how it pushed them to actually unblock VoIP services. This is what our role should be, and plus our role should be to provide the people, the consumers, the users with tools to circumvent this blocking, just to make the blocking of voice services by the telecom companies inefficient.
Great, Amin. So Huda, can you add to the perspective of Amin? So VoIPs are seen as an economic enabler, and that in a way endangers the income of telecommunication networks in Morocco. So that's why maybe this was an economic policy to shut down VoIPs to gain more money.
Okay, when the VoIP providers offer adequate voice quality, major players such as Google or Apple enforce and find suitable ways to monetize their user base, and investor appetite for the industry improve, along with the over economic, and regulators pay some attention to the non-discrimination of the industry in their efforts to promote net neutrality.
Fantastic. So Hamza, are you hearing me? I think Hamza has a problem with a technical problem. Okay, so I think, yeah, you can hear you. So you talked about the small medium enterprise. So can you give us your perspective about VoIPs and people using VoIPs for their small medium enterprises economic incentive?
Yes, I guess when companies block VoIP in Jordan, any regular person cannot see the effect of VoIP because they use voice calls. I guess we as a IT engineers or as a person live in Jordan must have new ideas about VoIP. VoIP is a service that connects anything to anything. It's about connect a voice to the data. It's a data. It's not a voice like we call at a voice call. It's a data can connect to the server, to some back end. We can generate amazing business model to create something that any citizen can see this service. Oh, it's a block. He can see it's a great service. I must have this service. When see VoIP is blocked in Jordan, they will move and they will make like in Morocco when community decide to unblock something, they did it. Yes, I guess this. We must have and create some business model fees for VoIP to remove the blocking, because there many let's see, many of persons doesn't know what is VoIP and how I can use it. They use it for international calls. There, it's one in the year. When he see it's blocked in a 3G or 4G, or he said, okay, I will use Wi-Fi. No, we must have a business model and create some ideas as a community to create a business model and ideas that have a great achievement to our community to see what is what this service that I can take it from the company that run the internet in Jordan.
Right.
Yes.
So we go back to Mahmoud again. So can you tell us the regulatory relationship that exists right now between telecom operators, mobile operators in Egypt, and VoIPs in Egypt, and how can VoIPs overcome the challenge of being blocked in the future by mobile networks?
Okay, so let's start with the regulatory framework. We have the Intra-National Telecommunication Regulatory Agency, which is the national regulator for all telecommunication. It's formed mainly from government representative from different sectors, from military background, national security background, some Ministry of Telecommunication. At the same time, the government also owns the biggest market share. So there is no regulatory independence on which we can rely on. So, for example, the VoIP blockage is coming from the national regulator. It's not initiated by and it's only applied to 3G communication. So on landlines and ADSL, the normal connection at home, you can. So is there, for example, a conflict of interest? We don't know. Is there why it's not blocked on all applications to some applications? We don't know exactly. So the regulatory scene needs to open up and needs to be more transparent, and there is a lot of issues going now in the communication market in Egypt from mobile operators want to have access to infrastructure ownership in landlines and ADSL, and vice versa. The national company wants to get an access to. Okay, so this fierce competition with an independent regulatory framework produce this kind of decisions where you do not exactly know who benefit. There is some views that because of the economic situation and lack of foreign currency, reserve foreign currency, the government want to make more profit from the international gateway of ordinary international calls. That's why she's blocking. The government is blocking by or benefiting the telcos themselves.
And here's here comes the point that you want to add to Walid Shanufi's point. Maybe the role of civil society that you see can have another role here, from watchdog maybe to really have maybe more say when it comes to that particular regulatory framework.
Actually, maybe it's not our responsibility to find the business model, but to be present in the scene and engage more party to a market characterized by monopoly, and that's some of our role. The alliances will shift throughout the discourse and throughout the circumstances, but opening the internet for more for a bigger public, and also internet from my tour a lot of other rights, to education, to political rights and freedom of expression. So it's not merely the sound of a business solution, but its implication on society itself, and other rights.
Fantastic, Mahmoud. I want to hear the perspective of Amin Jabran from IATL 19. I mean, what do you think are the solutions to really circumvent the unilateral decision of state telecom or mobile networks shutting down VoIPs? I know that you have some perspective on the use of circumvention tools on that particular issue.
Yeah, sure. So I do agree that no country is like the other. In each country, you have different mechanics for how the policy works. Like in the Gulf countries, for example, like in UAE, which is supposedly is seen now as the most advanced country in the region, and blah blah blah. The laws that they have over there put the telecom as first of all, it's 15 years old. The law is 15 years old, and it says only the licensees can provide telecommunication services in UAE, including VoIP services. So they include VoIP services in the telecommunication services as well. And this is why most of them go ahead and block all VoIP services. It's really hard to actually imagine a mechanism of a vehicle of change in these countries, just because there's a lot of there's the business side and the political side is very intertwined. There's a conflict of interest going on, and as you see, the second telecommunication company in UAE, let's say DU, is the regulatory body of telecommunications has shares in it. So right there, you can see that there's always this conflict of interest going on. So to answer your question on how circumvention tools, let's say, can help or can help change the conversation, let's say, it can help in a very simple way. It can render those blockings inefficient. So when they try to block, people use a VPN, the blocking doesn't work anymore. Simple as this. Then the government needs to go and block the VPNs themselves. And this VPN, blocking the VPN, is a huge task to do.
It's very difficult.
Very difficult to do. And because IATL 19 did a lot of work in Iran, and Iran is one of the countries in the world that has extensive blocking, and they are very tech savvy. So they deal with this on regular basis, and they know if their service is down, it's gonna be down for 1 day or 2 days until they find another way to re-encrypt the data traffic, and then they're gonna provide for their consumers. Just to give you a small statistics, actually, just because I have access to Siphon data, when the blocking happened in Morocco recently, and we start advertising through Facebook, through boosting posts for people to download Siphon to circumvent the blocking, our numbers saw a rise of 2,400% in numbers. Same thing in Yemen when they blocked Instagram not too long ago. So, and we have like in Egypt actually, when there were rumors back in the beginning of October of they were trying to block VoIP services on wireless networks. Then also we saw a rise in like subscriptions to the VPN. So what VPNs can do is they can change the conversation. They can render those blocking techniques absolute, like it doesn't work. And then this is gonna push those companies and it's gonna push the governments to start looking at other ways.
But I mean, don't think that there is a legal problem here, because in some of the MENA region countries still, I don't know if it is the same case in Egypt, but a VPN is still illegal to be used in UAE, for example. I don't know. I don't have much more information.
That's right to a certain point. I think in UAE, if you're using VPN for a criminal service, a criminal task or something like this, then it becomes illegal. They do have laws in place to criminalize the use of VPNs, but they don't enforce it. First of all, I think because they are a little bit scared from their people's reaction, and second of all, it's going to be very hard to enforce.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do? Are they going to go to each person and look at their phones and check if they have a VPN? So it's not really realistic.
Yeah, I think you're totally right, and I want to hear the perspective of Walid Al-Shanoufi from Access Now. I mean, you have maybe other ideas and suggestions to add to Amin's perspective on the use of VPNs as a circumvention tool?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think that the use of VPN can be very useful to access VoIP services when they are blocked. But in some cases, it's possible as well to block VPNs. We know as well that not everyone has the technical knowledge to use these circumvention tools, and this is a major issue. For instance, going back to the Tunisian revolution, Tunisian activists used a lot circumvention tools in order to access censored content. But in general, like Tunisians who don't care about part of Tunisians who weren't like very active in making change, didn't care about using these VPNs. Sometimes they find it difficult. But yeah, I think that blocking VPNs is as well a possibility for governments, and this is also an issue. I don't know what do you think about it. I mean, I know that ASL worked a lot on finding solutions and finding new circumvention tools.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. I do think like some VPNs that do use. I'm not very technical, but our VPN, the VPNs we deal with in general are open source. They are very much focused on user security and privacy. And when that happens, you usually use the user-friendly interface. You wouldn't have a user-friendly interface, and this is why ASL19 cooperated with Siphon, for example, to come up with a user-friendly version of the app. All you have to do is install it on your phone, open it, and click run. That's it. It connects automatically and everything. And my job, actually, as in ASL19 as an outreach manager, is basically to try, do my very small part of raising awareness for all people to use these tools. Because not to mention that they help with the VoIP blocking, they also help with privacy issues to a certain point, of course. I'm not saying they provide total anonymity, not at all. But they do kind of provide some kind of a privacy shield. So when we get this conversation going, when we raise the awareness of the population, be it young or older, I think we can get the people to use more and more VPN tools.
So in a way, to summarize it, I mean, you're saying that it's not only an infrastructure issue. We need to talk to focus more on the content as well, or on the privacy, changing the culture of people using
Definitely.
VPNs and behaving online.
Definitely.
Yeah, I want to add maybe the perspective of a tech-savvy guy, Hamza Salem, who is a technical person. Can you add to the perspective of Amin and El Walid when it comes to a better use of circumvention tools, and can you think of the policies that can be implemented?
I think VPN it's easy tool. Can anyone yes will say I mean when he said about we can install an app and click run and it's working. I think he's right. Yes, VPN it's not about how to hack or how or a difficult issue. It's simple. We can download an app and we can use VPN, but I think it's not the right way to go there. I think we must create something that people need, um, some service that use VoIP, and make the government to release blocking VoIP without any VPN. Yes, I guess that's a solution.
Yeah, so that's a creative way to put it. I want to go to Huda Belkacem. Huda, can you tell us more about the regulatory relationship between mobile networks in Morocco and VoIPs, and why now VoIPs are operational? Because you have, I think, a 2004 decree that says that telecommunication or mobile networks in Morocco can shut down VoIPs if VoIPs are used, should use it for commercial purposes. So why the mobile network in Morocco refrained from blocking VoIPs now at this particular moment that you're talking? Unmute yourself, Huda.
Hamza, I will add most factors enabling VoIP providers in Morocco. The Moroccan operators may employ partnership with the VoIP players, are opportunity to locate themselves as creator and improve the customers' experience. In the same time, the VoIP providers will observe this partnership as an occasion to accelerate the number of VoIP users, and the Moroccan operators must strengthen brand, because the brand is vital to construct and maintain a user base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we touch upon all questions. We still have one question on your policies and your recommendation. I mean, you have done a very good job in terms of really trying to deconstitute those technical acronyms of the topic of today to make them more digestible for the wider community watching us today. The last question will focus on the policies and the recommendation that you can think of to try to tame that problem, that confrontational problem, and to think of VoIPs more as a innovative opportunity enabling end users in your countries rather than a disruptive threats for mobile networks. So we go back to the insightful perspective of Mahmoud. So can you take the lead on that?
Okay. If we're talking about policy, so open up this decision-making process, all this recommendation that aims to make internet governance a multi-stakeholder process. But I think that the main problem is that the status quo does not want to open up this conversation. So mainly, if there is some recommendations, it would be more to involve involve more people in the discussion by addressing the needs. So if I have an example, Egypt, I think that the blockage is partial because mainly if it's total blockage, it goes an approach. And for this, let's say that there is a lot of potential parties who are able to, who are involved in the situation. Maybe they need only to understand how the communication are ran. Here in Egypt, we have, there's an example, internet solution. It's Facebook page with hundreds of thousands of followers there, and the main issue is they want to improve their own connection of internet. So more speeds, less money to be paid. So by trying to reach out to the people, not to raise the awareness, but merely to decipher the scene. For them, this will enable more public engagement in the policy making, and will and joining different stakeholders. So there is the startups, the new companies that are mainly using internet to even to advertise, or they're using internet as a solution to, like for example Uber or whatever other business that rely on the internet. Those people need easy communication, and we need to have contact with them to have good front that define
to basically take into account their opinion, ideas, and their recommendations, right? So thank you very much, Mahmoud. Should we go to Huda? Qasim, your recommendation and policies when it comes to a more inclusive and better use of VoIPs in Morocco?
Okay, the policy recommendation for secure deployment of VoIP is inviting more and more stakeholders to take part in discussion around global strategy and maintain telecom sector by keeping it attractive with high return of investment of telecommunication companies to invest more and encourage services and economic. Authorize more and more competition and local alternative without violating user rights. And telecoms require preparing their strategy carefully to foster business models and deliver a competitive advantage.
Fantastic, Huda, and very fast. Should we go to Ahmed Salem? Can you give us your technical policy recommendation when it comes to a better use, a more inclusive and transparent use of VoIPs in Jordan?
Hamza, it's not Ahmed.
Hamza Salem.
Yes.
Sorry.
No problem. I guess about policies, we have some issue in VoIP when company blocked VoIP in Jordan. They said it's about identity. Everyone can call everyone with because every mobile phone has a national number. Every person have a national number, can call anyone with a phone with another national number. But in VoIP, when you call someone in Facebook or any fake app or any account, I guess we have some issue with identity. So I think it's we must. If we want to use VoIP, we must solve the identity issues. Identity is very, very important. It must how we can call someone without any information about us or about him. So I think the policy is the identity about the application that used for VoIP or the business model. Yes, I guess.
Fantastic perspective. I like your point, Hamza. So should we hear from Al-Walid Shannoufi? So I will leave the last suggestion to Amin in terms of the policy recommendation. So, Walid, can you think of the policies and recommendations that can incentivize or give perspective to more inclusive, transparent, and resilient use of VoIPs in Tunisia?
Yeah, so I think that one of the main things the most important thing is to bring the stakeholders together. I think that in Tunisia, government and private sector are doing that in a very efficient way, but like evolving civil society need to be more active. So other things, I think that in Tunisia, we have a very modern constitution, post-revolution, and we have old laws and new laws, and we need to update these old laws to our constitution. And I think that after that, everything should be all right, and civil society need to play the watchdog, as you said previously in that call.
Fantastic. A very optimistic note. So, I mean, what are your policy recommendations to guarantee the interoperable nature of the internet, and to guarantee as well a more inclusive, we call it distributive collective management or collective distributive management of the internet in your local context or coming from your organization?
Yeah. So I do believe like this answer has many. The answer to the question has many layers. First layer is the legal one. So ideally, in a perfect world, we want our Arabic governments to move closer to net neutrality laws. Probably not happening anytime soon in some countries, but other countries are making great progress towards it, like Tunisia, for example. Like Morocco, hopefully, eventually. That's first one, and with that comes the protection of the identity from the state, which means, and this is a debate that's happening right now, also in America, where like the government is always asking for backdoors for apps from like Facebook, Google, WhatsApp Messenger, in case they want to request information. They can get it. So I think we want to keep the governments away from uncovering the identity of whoever's using these applications.
So this issue of metadata and data collection, right?
Yes, exactly. So that's one. Second layer is the public policy and government. Now I have to be a little bit realistic and pragmatic here. A lot of governments in the Middle East rely on taxes, and now taxes from telecommunications is one of the biggest incomes in a lot of countries. Like in Lebanon, they call it the oil of Lebanon for a reason, because they don't have any other resources, so they rely on this resource to basically cover. Now the problem is if those revenues from these taxes go down, that means whatever they're offering for social services and whatnot are gonna also go down. So the way to move forward is they have to find other ways to make revenues out of telecommunication companies, and this is what in a lot of countries the governments unfortunately are not getting. They just want to go take the easy route, just block VoIP applications, and this is the easy way out, and it doesn't work. It works maybe on the short run, but on the long run, it's not gonna work. So how do you replace this income or this revenue for the taxes? Well, you know what? Like Facebook and Twitter, they're selling the metadata of their users to advertising companies, and they're making money off of it, and then they pay taxes for the American government or whatever government they're in. So why these governments shouldn't get a share of this money? So again, like innovative solutions, they have to come up with they have to start talking to these companies. If when they actually accept the regulation of these VoIP services as entities by themselves, not
So
under
that's public-private partnership.
Exactly, exactly. So once they start doing that, once they open the dialogue, they can find solutions for them to actually make money off of VoIP services. And there are other ways other than digging their hands in the pockets of poor people. And this is the main problem. And at the end, like as your guests have said, it has to be a conversation between all stakeholders, basically, civil society, academia as well, government, and the telecommunication companies.
Well, thank you very much, Umar. I mean,
Hamza,
for your,
Hamza, if I can add something.
you can add something, but make it quick. 1 minute. Or
so we should be mindful about our private data, even if we are using VoIP services that are closed source. And I encourage everyone to use open source VoIP solutions.
I agree.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think the debate today was really fruitful. It was a fantastic debate, and I'm really humbled and very thankful for our invitations today. I know that you have professional commitments, but you came today to our wonderful debate. I should thank Mahmoud for coming from Egypt and giving us his excellent perspective. Hudayb Al-Qasim as well, who joined us from Morocco, where finally the issue of VoIP is settled after campaigning and fighting the good fights and winning the small wins. As well, Hamza Salem, who came from Jordan as well, with his very grounded technical perspective. And thank you very much as well for Amin, and who came and gave us very, very insightful recommendations when it comes to the VoIP use in Canada or in the MENA region, and as well in GCC Council countries. And as well, Walid Al-Shanoufi as well from Tunisia, who gave us his perspective as well. Well, thank you very much for coming. It was an excellent debate, and we will produce a summary of our debate, and I hope we will continue working together on upcoming projects, and hope that you will spread and share our content with your communities. So do you have any final thoughts or suggestions before leaving you?
No, thank you.
Hello? Thank you very much, Hamza. And I hope if I can just make one last comment, I hope that everyone can keep in touch, because we need that. We need to share our expertise throughout all Arab countries.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mahmoud, do you have any final thoughts or perspective?
Okay, thank you. If we can come with a line on the debate, is that solutions
Fantastic.
are maybe
Yeah.
there, but we need to look for it and not just ban.
Thanks. Okay, so see you around, guys. Bye-bye. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Hamza.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.